Okay, this is another recording of Mehera-Meher from page 513. Baba's pet, Mustan, died while the women were at Guru Prasad in 1969. When Baba dropped his body, Mustan had been left behind the house near the kitchen. A few days after the interment, Mustan's appetite diminished. He stopped eating much. For 15 or 20 days, Mastan noticed Baba's absence, Mehera observed. He came to Baba's dining chair, where Baba would feed him, and walked around it. One day, Mustan went round the dining chair very slowly, gave a sigh, and then went and lay down in his usual spot in the passageway. Meheru watched another day as the dog went inside Baba's bedroom, where he never went unless called. Meheru was surprised to see him go in by himself, so she followed from a distance. Mastan went near the back of the bed, slowly walked around it, and came out. Seeing that Baba was not at both places where he usually was, Mastan slept in the middle of the passage. It reminded Meru of how Hindus do pradikshana around temples and deities after bowing down. Pilgrims walk around the place and make a circle around a samadhi before coming out. Mastan missed Baba terribly, but Meher said. He gave up eating completely after some days. Mehera made soft rice pudding and put it on his tongue, but he spat it out. I would put it behind the tongue in small pieces and push it down to make him swallow, she said, which he did unwillingly. It was a big job, but we had to do it twice a day. I knew Baba would want him to be fed, but he wouldn't eat. We had to go to Pune at the end of March. Before leaving in the car, I felt somehow that Mastan wasn't going to live anymore. He was ill and wasn't eating. Before I got into the car to go, Meheru and I went to him. I put my hand on his head and said, Baba, make it easy for Mustan. If he has to drop his body, make it easy for him. I patted him and then left. His love was such that he didn't want to live any more without Baba. Otherwise, he wasn't ill at all. In January, he hadn't been allowed to come to see Baba. He was tied all the time. We didn't want Baba to be disturbed. After Mehera and the others left for Pune, Sev, one of the Meherabad maids who loved animals, tried to coax Mustan to eat. Mustan refused and died at 8:30 p.m. on 16 April. It was Baba's grace that we weren't there, Mehera commented. Otherwise, we would have felt worse. Baba saved us from that feeling. Mehera added, Baba gave Mustan so much love. He was pleased with Mustan, who led a restricted sort of life, no running or walking freely by himself, always with Alaba on a leash or tied up. Baba was so pleased with him that once he remarked, Mustan would get a human body. Baba had many pets, but the most loved pet was Mustan. He was most fortunate to be fed by, cared for, and loved by Baba. Mustan died for Baba, Mehera concluded. He pined away. The side note said, Mustan did not complete his 13th year. which is said to be a difficult year for dogs in India. Peter had lived longer. Spaniels do not usually live more than 8 years in the heat of the Indian climate, but Peter lived for 13 years. And I must interject that Maston being 13 years old is old for a large dog like him. Very old. Mehera breaks down during the last darshan. Guru Prasad, June 1969. Maharani, Mehera, Naja Korshan, Meheru, Mani, Rano, Katie. So Mani, Meru, Mehera, and Khorshid in 1969. Baba from the back. Oh, his hair's long there. Wow. Down to the bottom of his shoulder blades. Standing on a rug in the dirt. Guru Prasad. He's the famous tree Baba. Chapter 160, A Sign. Mehera and the other women returned to Meherazad on 1 July 1969. Now, away from the crowds, in the quietude of their own secluded and restricted life, their grief was ever present. Mehera stood weeping in front of Baba's picture and told him, Mastan is lucky. He is with you. Why haven't you taken me also? I don't want to stay in this world. Take me also, Baba. Mehera cried so inconsolably. Mani told her, Baba suffered so much for us. Can't we suffer this little bit for him? Isn't it selfish of us not to want this suffering? Good psychologist. Mani reminded Mehera also of how often Baba had referred to her as his Radha. This separation is but another tune played on his divine flute for you to dance to as perfectly as you had done to the sweet music of his physical presence. Let me read the side note. During Baba's last days, when he was not well and would eat so little, Meher tried to encourage him. I can't really eat, Baba told her, but when you eat, it is as if I have eaten. After Baba dropped his body, when Mehera also would eat so little, the others reminded her of what Baba had said. She remembered and it touched her. Yes, I must eat for Baba, she said. Meheru related. We realized then how far-sighted Baba was, of how his words would be needed later to get Mehera out of that depression, out of that mood. His words were the only thing that she responded to and helped her to eat at that time. Together with Mehera, Meheru stated, we all went through this deep sorrow of separation when Baba left his form. How Mehera survived and came out of it could only have been possible by Baba's sustaining presence and help, even in that agonizing pain, in her love for Baba, like a lost child groping in the dark. Mehera tried to obey and please him. In the first year after January 31st, 1969, in her extreme grief, Mehera tried her best to obey Baba. His last message to Mehera, sent through Mani, was uppermost in her mind, not to worry and to be courageous. Mehera truly tried, saying, I am trying to be brave as Baba wants me to, but how can I stop my mind from thinking? In the Gujarati language, the same word can be used for both worrying and thinking. Not for one moment did Mehera stop thinking of and remembering Baba. For a while, neither Mehera nor Mani would go to Baba's upstairs bedroom, Meheru continued. Mehera spent a lot of time in Baba's room downstairs, both in Meherazad and in Guru Prasad, when we went there, after the darshan was over. Here she felt close to Baba, talked with him, and gave way to tears that could not be stemmed. After a while, one of us would come in and try to comfort and talk to her. I would often come with something interesting to read, either from Meher Baba journals or some other things to distract her. After the last darshan, Mani recalled, we felt there was room for our own feelings. When we came back from Guru Prasad for the first time, our hearts and our minds were by ourselves. It was very quiet in Meherazad. There was time now to indulge in our own grief, in our own agony, be by ourselves, think of personal memories of Baba. After Baba dropped his body, we had no room for our own feelings, no space for our own agony. We continued to do what Baba would want us to do, what would please Baba. Before going to Pune, we had no time to indulge in our own grief. Otherwise, we just went along, as if in a tide of activity that Baba had already patterned. There was no room in our hearts for our own selves. At Guru Prasad, we were so busy, so occupied. The only time we had for our own was after we had seen to the commitments. His commitment to his lovers, to give darshan to them in Guru Prasad in 1969. After all that was over, we thought, this is it. Now, whatever had to happen in Pune happened. Now we could let down our hair and relax. Now we could indulge in our own grief, privately, only at night or in the bathroom. We didn't cry before each other. We kept it private, where we could do it by ourselves. This way we were giving each other support, holding palms and hands together. When Baba was physically present, his physical presence, because of the authority, because of the reality that he is, his illusory form also gave life to the unreal. Things that seem very real because of his physical presence. When Baba dropped that form, they all seemed to die. It was like we died. When we came back from Guru Prasad in 69, we were with Baba, very much absorbed in Baba's personal presence at Meherazad. It was a flood of memories because there is nothing in Meherazad that Baba has not either touched or used, or that is not personally associated with him. We missed many of the little intimate things of our lives with Baba. He would be seated here. He liked reading this book, listening to this gramophone record that we used to play. We remembered, this is the book we used to read to Baba. Oh, this is where Baba was sleeping. Suddenly, these inanimate objects came alive again. It was like a pantomime, but still it was all around us. The grief came down, the outpouring came out, but in private. Sometimes when I came to Erich's room to give him a paper, I just bawled out. I couldn't help it. Erich would comfort me. Baba had once remarked that Erich was like his mother. Mani had been surprised by the comment, wondering how Baba could describe a man as a mother. However, after Baba dropped his body, Mani observed, quote, "It was strange because I felt that my relationship with Erich was the same. He was as a mother to me, not just as a brother, which of course he was, but as a mother. At that time, when I could not express my anguish, my pain of what had happened, of Baba passing away physically from us, I would just go in and bawl, just like a child would bawl, to its mother. Soothingly, with his words, he would comfort me. Then I would calm down." End quote. One morning, Erich called Mani and asked her to bring some documents that Baba had told her to keep. I went back, but I forgot all about them. I would walk about the house thinking, this is where Baba used to sit. This is the gramophone on which we used to play records for him. This is where I used to read for Baba. This is where Mastan used to play with him. Intimate, personal memories of Baba's presence. It was evening time when I suddenly remembered the papers. The sun was setting. It was dusk. I quickly got the papers from my trunk and walked over very fast to Erich's room. I heard splashing of water and saw Erich washing his face under the tap. He didn't say a word, just wiped his face, turned his back, and started walking away to the fields. "Come," he said. He went to the edge of the field and stood there. I stood beside him. "Can you hear?" he asked. I was silent for a while. I said, "Yes, the sheep are calling out. Ba, 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 ba." "Can you see?" "Yes, the sheep are moving restlessly in a crude enclosure." "No," said Erich, "to the left." Suddenly, I saw there was a big rock outside the entrance of the enclosure. Then I realized it wasn't a rock, but a person. It's the shepherd. He was under a rough blanket wrapped round him. He was sitting, still as a rock, facing his flock. "See," Erich said, "they call out. They are restless because they think their shepherd has left them. The flock cannot see him, but their shepherd is all the time with them. He has an eye on them. He is looking after them. The flock cannot see him because it is dark. But when the dawn comes and the sun rises, they will realize that their shepherd has never left them, that he was with them all the time." What a help this was. Baba is with us all the time, True, we cannot see him. We forget, but he is there. Eric's words were a great comfort to Mani, and he said something that helped Mehera as well. Mehera related, "When Baba dropped his body, I used to miss him and weep about it." Erich was told and said, "But why? Just think that Baba has gone to the West and he'll come back after some time. Think that he has gone out on tour somewhere." And Mehera tried to do so. As Mehera said, Erich's suggestion helped her, but an even greater help was an event that occurred soon after they returned from Guru Prasad. In those days, Mehera hardly went outside. Most evenings, too, she stayed indoors, pacing back and forth inside the house. Since Baba was always in our car while returning from Guru Prasad, she recalled, in 1969, while coming back, I was feeling very sad that he wasn't in our midst. When we reached Maharazad, I was depressed, missing Baba. I remembered how Baba always entered the house holding my hand, how the servants would welcome us, and I would go to free Mastan. One day at the end of July, I was standing alone in my room by the window looking outside, thinking how lovely it was when Baba was with us, especially when he hadn't had the accident, when he could walk. How one day he came walking from Mondley Hall straight to the garden to this part near my bedroom window and came round in front of the window. He walked a little, then he came and asked if the food was ready and what was cooked. I asked Naja and told Baba. Later, Baba couldn't walk, and now Baba is not with us. I was thinking of those days when Baba was with us. No one was in the house. Everyone was busy working. As I looked sideways to the small flower patch outside Baba's room, at the flowers and plants and listened to the birds singing, I was feeling very sad at heart. I began to turn away from the window. But as I was turning my head, something drew my attention, as if someone was saying, "Look, here." As I looked back, it was as if someone was drawing my eyes to a certain spot. Turning, I looked straight at the trunk of the tree outside my window. I looked properly and couldn't believe my eyes. Baba's image, perfectly on the bark. "Oh, my darling Baba, my Baba, it's exactly like your face. So beautiful. I couldn't believe my eyes. Such a lovely shape of Baba's face on the tree." I was really happy to see the image of Baba's face on the tree. Baba was giving me darshan in a way to remind me that he has not gone away. He is still here. It was as if he was saying, "See, I am in the tree. If I am in the tree, then I am in the house. I am with you, right here, everywhere. I've not forgotten you. I have not gone away." It was a sign that he still remembers us. At that time, I felt comforted. It was like a sign from Baba. I am here with you. Don't worry. I am here in the tree, in your heart, in the hearts of my lovers. The fact that it appeared on a living thing, something with life in it, also touched me very much. On a stone, the image wouldn't change, but on a living thing, it does. Even so, I loved that it appeared on a tree. Now it has been there for 7 years, and the tree is beginning to shed its bark, but it has served its purpose to calm, soothe, and console me that Baba has not forgotten us. The side note says Mehera did not remember the exact date she first saw the image on the tree. I'm not sure whether on the 15th, 20th, or 25th of July, she said. Mehera believes Mehera saw it before Silence Day and pointed it out to them a few days later. Mani recalled the incident happening around 15 July. Back to the main copy. In some way, he gave me a sign to say that we should remember he is in everything, inside as well as outside the house, in the leaves, in the trees, in all his lovers' hearts, near me also. I got that feeling and I felt so happy. I looked at Baba. Baba, darling, how beautiful you looked. It's just that I can't see you. And how lovely that you gave me darshan. Beloved Baba. And I was saying that when Mani came inside. I called her. See, Mani, can you see how beautiful an image of Baba there is on the tree? I asked. She also felt surprised and happy. We both gazed at Baba's image on the tree, and excited we told the other girls, and they all came. Mani said, "You see, Mehera, how Baba comforts us with a sign so that we shouldn't worry." A day later, the men came to see it. And there's that asterisk that we already read about the exact date. Mehera continued, "From that time, I was a bit comforted and knew Baba wanted to tell me not to worry. His last message to me was, don't worry at all and be brave." At the time, I said, yes, I can be brave, but how can I not worry when your health is not all right? It was good that I did not say yes, as now I would be breaking Baba's order, since I do think over, and worry about some things. And I'll pause the recording as we change readers. Okay, we're resuming the recording, and Mikal from Israel is reading.
Thank you. So, later, Mera remembered the incident 10 years before, when Baba has escorted Joanna Smith around the garden and remarked that he liked this particular Uma tree. Mera had been watching Baba from inside by the doorway and saw Baba tap the tree trunk and gesture, "I like this tree." At that time, she had wondered why he liked that particular seemingly ordinary tree. She had guessed it was because the tree gave much shade. Now she knew the real reason. After a few days, Mara suggested taking a picture of the image on the tree, but Mani said it would not come out, as the image was too faint. Like the beginnings of a sculptor's work, Mani noted. A month later, however, Mani changed her mind. She herself noticed how much more distinct it appeared. The sculptor's work was finished. She took a photograph and sent the film to Kushur quarters to be developed. Adi Sr. sent the prints back, and sometimes later he happened to come to Merazad. Goer asked how he liked the image on the tree. "You've done it quite well," he replied. "Done what?" Goer asked, confused. "Carved Baba's face on the tree." Goer explained that they had not touched it, that it had appeared naturally. Adi was amazed and publicized it extensively, announcing it at the weekly Ahmednagar Center meeting. So while the attention of the world was focused on Neil Armstrong's Walk on the Moon on the 20th July 1969, those near Ahmednagar were drawn to the much more extraordinary occurrence at Mirazat. For weeks, buses filled with curious visitors arrived, and school children from Pimpelgaon and elsewhere came to view it. Soon after the image appeared, Sheila went to Mirazat. Mera was so excited to show her. "Baba sees me," she declared happily. "He is everywhere. He hasn't gone away. He is watching me from the tree, as it is right in front, like of my bed." Mera pointed to the top of the image and said, "It looks just like peacock feather in the crown, like Krishna used to wear." For months afterwards, whenever Sheila visited Mirazad, she would find Mera sitting on her bed, watching the image on the tree. What a consolation it was that Baba's image appeared on the tree outside Mera's window, Meru observed. Mera spent much time seated on her bed, gazing at the tree, gazing at Baba's gift to her. Time would be forgotten as she would move to the windowsill, contemplating his face with a changing expression caused by the play of light and shadow on it. Even in the night, Mera would stand before the window with her hands joined as in prayer, unconscious of the time slipping by. And on the side note, it says Love Street Lamppost, April-June 1999, page 27. The contour of the image's forehead was actually rounded, not flat. There was a dip in the tree, then a bulge for the forehead. After a year, Mera noticed 3 dents in the tree at the forehead, representing to her Christ's suffering, his crown of thorns. As Mera said, the image remained clear for 7 years and then grew less distinct. It became fainter in the daytime, harder to distinguish its features. Because it was clearest at dusk, Mani quipped, "In the daytime, Baba goes into seclusion, but he comes out at night." What happened to the text? Every day, Mera offered 1 golden orange marigold, kissing it before placing it on the image. She recalled Baba walking in the garden and remarking how much he liked marigolds. And on the side note, roses, Mera explained, would not stay fresh for long, out of water. Alu related that Mera's agony and pain after Baba dropped his body were so palpable that she believed Mera would not be able to survive it. But after the image appeared on the tree, Alu stated, it calmed her down. Alu was, by the way, a doctor, so she knew even symptoms of the body. Arnavas too spoke about the positive impact the image had on Mera. Mera was so full of sorrow. She was drowned in sorrow. She was like a fish out of water. Naturally, Baba had to sustain her by looking at the image on the tree. She felt that Baba was saying, "See, I am here with you all the time." She felt that. It was a sign Baba gave her that I am here with you. She felt so happy. Baba had to bring her out of that sorrow. The image on the tree was a great help to Mera. All the time she would go and look at the tree. It was like a gift from Baba. She would sit in her room and look at it. We were all happy too. Really, it was like a miracle. It was a sure sign of Baba saying, "I am here." Not that we didn't know he was here, but then we are human beings. We need these things. The image on the tree served another important purpose as well. After Baba dropped his body, Mera was thinking of moving back to Meherabad Hill and living there as before. so she could be nearer Baba's samadhi. To dissuade her, Mani told her that Baba had personally looked after the well, Mani told her that Baba had personally looked after the well, garden, and birds of Meherazad. He had taken a personal interest in the upkeep of the property. Baba has lived in Meherazad longer than anywhere else on earth, Mani pointed out, trying to persuade Mera against the idea of moving. Privately, however, Mani asked Baba, "Have I said the right thing? Is this what you really want? Or has my own prejudice gotten in the way?" When the image on the tree appeared, it was a sign to Mera and to the others to remain in Meherazad. Mera wrote to Irene Bilu on 17 January 1970 about the tree. We are all doing our best to live as beloved Baba would want us to. We cannot gauge the immensity of his suffering, which he did in silence for the good of humanity. May we all, his dear lovers, be worthy of his dear love for us. I am sending by book post a snapshot of a tree. On its trunk is seen a very clear image of beloved Baba's face. If you look close, the shape of a crown is seen on the head. This is an Umar tree, which stands outside my east window. The Umar tree is much revered by the Hindus, as the Umar tree is said to be the seat of Dattatreya, who is the embodiment of the three aspects of God: Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the creator, the sustainer, and the dissolver. The Pimpalgaon villagers who had not come before beloved Baba's darshan when he was physically in our midst have come flocking to the tree to take darshan of Baba's image, as they now have proof of Baba's godhood. In a letter later to Irene on 7 October 1970, Mera wrote, "Talking of Switzerland brings vividly to mind our stay there with beloved Baba. I have tears in my eyes as I am writing, for I miss his beloved's physical presence very much. I am facing beloved Baba's image on the Umar tree. The eyes of the image are distinctly seen shut, as if beloved Baba is tired and resting. Baba used to sometimes say he is very tired and would like to sleep for 700 years. Very soon Mera would realize how active Baba still is in the world." And we see a picture of Mera, and that must be in Baba's Hill. Let's see. Amartiti, Meherabad, 31 January 1974. So that is Meherabad Hill. And another in his samadhi. Mera is coming into the samadhi. You can see how wrought she is in the entrance to Baba's samadhi. Outside Baba's tomb, first Amartiti, 31st January 1970, Mehera Bapsi Khan of Bombay, actually going out of the samadhi.
That must be Babsi Khan in the slacks.
Yeah,
You
coming
don't
into the
see, yeah, you don't see Indians in slacks too much.
yeah, coming into the samadhi, standing at the door. It's heartbreaking to see her like that. I can't look at these pictures. This 161 poetry, this chapter is called. Despite the appearance of Meher Baba's image on the tree, for the first few years after he dropped his body, Mera could not say Baba's name without tears coming to her eyes. Her eyes were always swollen from crying, Sheila observed. Mera would start saying something and not be able to get past Baba and break into tears. Only after several years did she become more composed. After returning to Merazad from the last darshan in 1969, Meru confided, "We all still felt the great void in our lives, the absence of beloved Baba's physical presence. He was the focus of our lives, and the emptiness we felt was indescribable. So how much greater it was for Mera herself, who was like a lost child. The moment she was by herself, and this she needed to be, she would break down in tears. Her suffering was unbearable. During those first 2 years, there were visitors coming now and then, and some from Ahmednagar, like the Kalchuris, Kokila Tiwari, and the Akbar Press family, whom we knew well, were more regular. Whenever they came, Mera was encouraged to participate in being with them. We felt it helped Mera to be with them and talk and hear them talk of their love and relationship with Baba, knowing how difficult it was to come to Merazad in those days before auto rickshaws would often ask them we often asked them to have lunch with us, the women and children on our side and the men with the mandali. So in the first year or two, before pilgrims started coming, first in trickles and then in waves, we had more time to be with these local Baba lovers. Sheila went to Merazad to keep Mera company as often as possible. Usually on Sunday, when she had a holiday from school. Many times she found Mera alone in Baba's bedroom, speaking to him. In fact, Mera was conversing with Baba's bed so naturally that Sheila asked her one day whether she saw Baba there. Mera revealed that she did. Sheila elaborated. It happened all of a sudden. Mera had been crying so much during the months after Baba dropped his body, I felt that she wouldn't survive. Then suddenly I noticed that her happiness had returned, and she was energetic once more. When I helped her clean Baba's bedroom, she spoke to Baba as if he were actually lying on the bed or sitting in a chair. I asked her if she saw Baba, and she said that she did, but she made me promise not to tell anyone else. I don't think Mera spoke of this to anyone else, and it must have stopped gradually after some time as Mera grew stronger. Though I never saw Baba there, once in a while a strong fragrance of roses wafted through the room, indicating his presence. Mera smelt it too, although she said she could not smell anything else. 1 year after Meher Baba dropped his body, approximately 1,700 lovers gathered on Mehrabad Hill for the first Amartiti on 31st January 1970. With money at her elbow, Mera stepped to the microphone and, fighting back tears, she read out this address. Shall I read the side note?
Sure.
In all the years that the author taped Mera for this book, she never once mentioned seeing Baba in form after he dropped his body. It is therefore probably that Mera had no memory of it. Baba's grace, it appears, was meant to comfort her through that very difficult period in 1969-70. And once it had served its purpose, there was no need for Mera to dwell on it. So this is the address that she read on the 31st January 1970 Amartiti. O beloved one, our beloved Avatar Meher Baba, we, your loving children, have gathered today at Mehrabad to fill our hearts with your love on this most sacred hill on earth, where your man-form rests. We have also come to pay our homage to you and to greet you in the hearts of your lovers. May we be worthy of your very dear love for us. Your compassion is our strength, which sustains us. Your love is our life. It is yours. May we hold on to your daman in complete surrender to your will. Dear Meher pilgrims, we are all gathered here in love to pay homage to Avatar Meher Baba, our divine beloved, who loves us more than we can ever love ourselves. Let us forever say his Jai, not only say it with our lips, but live it in our hearts, so that our lives become a living testimony to his victory. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. So thank you. If someone else will read now.
Thank you.
Okay.
During the winter of 1969-70, the women went to Meherabad and removed all of Baba's clothing from the trunks kept in Mehra's room there, such as dressing gowns from Baba's Western trips and other things he had not used in years. His clothes were rewashed and ironed, and any holes and tears in the sadras darned. His many pairs of sandals were taken out also. Oil was applied to the leather so that it would not dry out. Everything was then repacked and kept away. When they went to Guru Prasad that summer, they did the same thing. They did the same thing there, cleaned out all the cupboards and any trunks that had been stored there. In 1969, we had been too rushed with darshan to see to anything in the hot summer days, Mehera explained. We went back to Guru Prasad for a few days in 1970 to pick up Baba's things. His pink coats had been kept in the cupboards. I didn't have them washed, and I'm glad I didn't, as they still have Baba's fragrance. Side note says, Goher wrote to Adele, 10 January 1970. From this year on, we won't be visiting Guru Prasad during the summer. We will be staying at Meherazad. There is no point in our going to Guru Prasad, as there will be no more darshans held there. So henceforth, Baba lovers will visit Guru Prasad as Meher pilgrims to pay homage. At Meherazad also, the women cleaned and preserved things which Baba had used. We must take care of the things Baba had used for the Baba lovers who come in the future, Mehera stated. In his physical form, Baba has used and touched all these things at Meherazad, so they are sacred. Till the very last, Baba has lived there. Meheru explained that this work held particular significance for them. During the time Baba was in our midst, the work he did, the darshan programs he gave, his vitality, his love, his very presence were overwhelming, much larger than life. So it was impossible to think of a life without him. Never without him, Meheru corrected herself, but without his physical form. After Baba dropped his body, all his close mandali found it almost impossible to pick up the threads of life and feel our way out of the darkness of despair and pain. For us women mandali, willing ourselves to be useful and thinking of what would console Mehera, looking through Baba's articles helped a great deal. Just to touch his clothes was to feel his closeness, especially for Mehera. She would very willingly be involved in the work, but often we noticed her sitting motionless, a sadra or a coat in her lap in deep reverie, silent tears running down her cheeks. And the side note says Mani's despair and pain can almost be felt in this letter to Carrie Ben Shammai, dated 5 June 1970.
Yeah,
Our,
the Israeli one.
our silence is never out of the heart, only of the pen, which I very seldom pick up for writing a letter. His will be done, and may we always bow to it. We did not go to Guru Prasad for this summer, which we spent in Meherazad, and beloved Baba made the heat quite tolerable by pouring his grace in cooling showers of rain at timely periods. We are well and busy as ever in various Baba ways. His love sustains our hearts with courage and strength, which he alone can give. He is indeed our compassionate Father. An-
Interesting. Who brought Baba's love to Israel?
Another time, Meheru reflected. In 69 and the early 70s, the anguish of separation from her beloved was overwhelming for Mehera. During the time, she tried to occupy herself with work related to Baba, taking care of his room, his personal things, and so on. And we visited, let's see, oh, whoops. And we visited Meherabad frequently for darshan and would stay to look over Baba's things that had been stored in the East Room. Involvement in all this helped, but the moment she was by herself, much as she tried not to, Mehera would break down. As Meheru said, the women continued to visit Meherabad for darshan. During the first few years, whenever they went to Baba's tomb, they spent the entire day there, taking lunch with them. In the evening, Mansari served tea and bujayas. Bujiyas. Once, when Mehera walked through the hall at Lower Meherabad, where Muhammad Must stayed, the Must remarked in Marathi, Dadachi Ladaki, which means Baba's favorite or Baba's loved one. And I'll pause the recording as we perhaps shift to. Okay, recordings resumed. Mahu Sharyar is reading.
Gradually, to the Mandeli's surprise, the number of visitors increased. After Baba dropped his body, Mani said, "We thought the 69 darshan at Guru Prasad was it. We didn't know his lovers would be coming to Mehrabad and Meherazad. I was quite scared at first. Others probably were too. We were totally unprepared for anything like the darshan in 1969. We were totally unknowing of even one step of the future. We have witnessed from then on the way in which Baba does his own work, the way in which he has been directing and conducting it. The way things are unfolding and are being revealed is a constant presence, his presence. Before we went to Pune in 69, we had this feeling like a package that's been tied. Suddenly the strings become loose and everything gets scattered out. We had that feeling with Mehrozad. We felt suddenly that this is a property. It's a big place. It's all so scattered. Whereas Baba's physical presence made it come together so compactly, like a house, a home. Now, when Baba dropped his body, it was as if the parcel had been undone and everything was scattered. We had the conference and decided that when we came back, we would close so many of the rooms. We will have to retire so many of the servants, staff, domestic help. We were very happy. We were very happy. Where am I? Aha. We were very happy with the thought that we were going to do all that. When we came back from Pune, suddenly we wanted to expand. It all seemed so compact, really. So we built this veranda outside of Mandali Hall, this bathroom across from Aloba's kitchen. Goher, like each of the Mandali, had been deeply affected by Baba's passing, but she felt partly responsible. I was shocked after Baba dropped his body, thinking of what use was medicine when it couldn't relieve, comfort, or help Baba in his suffering. I lost all faith in medicine. I didn't want to see or have anything to do with medicine. I hated myself. I hated the medical profession. I gave away all the medicines stockpiled at Mehera-Azad to the Salvation Army, Booth Hospital, and others in the area. Yet Goher continued to treat those, living at Mehera-Azad. She felt a deep responsibility, especially to look after Mehera's health. During the first few years, whenever Goher was away from Mehera-Azad, even if it were only to the Ahmednagar Bazaar for shopping, she was always restless to return, to be near Mehera, in case something happened while she was away. Moreover, there were the orders that Baba had given regarding Mehera, which were still strictly adhered to. It was Baba's order, for example, that Mehera not be left alone in the house. Mani was at the trust office much of the time. If Goher too went somewhere, Meru was to be in the house at hand, and vice versa. Someone was to be near Mehera, within calling distance, at all times. If Mani had to go to Pune overnight, Mehru slept in Mehera's bedroom, with Goher nearby in the adjoining room as usual. Gradually, Mehra was able to meet the visitors who came. Even so many times, she became so emotional that Meru or Goher had to lead her inside from the veranda to allow her to compose herself. Here is how Hila Cotwell or Talwar described Mehera's state. I can never forget the pain in her beautiful eyes, the pain of separation. And we, who had seen her radiance and joy when her beloved was with her, found it unbearable to gaze at her then, for the sparkle of the stars in her eyes had faded. The Mehera we knew was never the same again through her sweetness, gentleness, and humor were always there. We all felt beloved Baba's presence very strongly through Mehera.
There's
Maybe we should
another
look at
letter.
this side note before it goes away.
Yeah, Mani became the chairman of the Avatar Meh Baba Trust in 1972, a position she had until her death in 1996. Gradually, where are we? Yeah, one more line, I guess.
Whoops. What
Mm,
happened? Oh
that's
dear.
okay.
Uh, I must have,
I guess you got to go upward.
I,
Mhm.
I think I accidentally changed there. Oh, here we go. Uh,
Okay,
on a
where do
personal
you want me
note,
to
I
start?
think. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, on personal notes, Hila mentioned I had a particular problem and told Mera about it. She listened so patiently to all I said and was genuinely concerned. When I saw her the following year, she told me she had personally prayed to beloved Baba. And lo and behold, the problem was solved. I was so deeply touched to think that she prayed for me. But sweet Mera was like that, genuinely concerned for one and all who came to her and poured out their problems. Nevertheless, at other times, when someone mentioned some trouble or suffering, Mera pointed out, remember, Baba suffered so much. When we remember his suffering, it dwarfs all of our own, no matter what. Ours becomes ours becomes pity by comparison. So
Yeah.
it is always good when in the midst of our suffering to remember how much Baba suffered, not for himself, but for others. Baba's extensive sufferings were often on Mehera's mind in the years after he dropped his body. Reminiscing once, she explained, Baba is the avatar. He suffered for us. How many years of silence? He loved singing and had a beautiful voice for singing, but he gave up singing. He sacrificed his love for talking and singing because he loved us so much. He went through so much suffering, 2 motor car accidents and other suffering. Baba loved to walk. He has climbed all the hills around here. Where we would be struggling on a hill slope on all fours, trying not to slip downwards, Baba would ascend so nimbly, so gracefully. It was so beautiful to watch him. How much he must have missed walking the last many years. Not to talk, not to walk was very difficult. And on top of it, he had so much universal work. Much Baba has gone through. We cannot even count it on our fingers. It cannot be told what Baba has suffered for his lovers. Only Baba could do it. To keep silence And to do all the work he did was really wonderful. To go to the West on silence and to have people attracted to him. The Westerners were young then. Then also, Baba was always talking or singing. They have no idea how difficult it was for him to keep silence. We couldn't have kept silence for so many years. So Baba has done it for us. Baba suffered greatly. Every minute, Baba would like to say something, but he had to hold it in. He led such a sedentary life after the second accident. All day sitting in his chair, he couldn't get up and move around. His joints became stiff. That is why always when I speak to Baba's photo, I tell Baba, only you know how much you suffered. We cannot know, though we lived with you. Baba said, as Jesus, I was crucified once, but as Meher Baba, I am crucified daily. Of that suffering in silence, we can have no idea. We could see some things. Baba had his feelings hurt many times by being let down by his followers. When you get a cut or wound, it's one thing, but to have your feelings hurt is worse. You want me to read this side note?
Sure thing.
Baba once told, there's a side note. So it says, Baba once told the women, I am eternally happy and eternally crucified. Mehera admitted, sometimes we feel very empty. Sometimes we feel very empty and depressed. But we know Baba wants us to be cheerful, so we make efforts to be cheerful. Yeah, the side notes is finished. Yeah. And Baba always smiled. He never liked us to be depressed or worried or to wear long faces. He wanted us to smile, to be happy and cheerful. Now we know the smile was on his face while inwardly he was suffering. That is why now you all feel love for him, because he has loved you and his love draws you to him. Baba has gone through what he went through for each one of you and for all his lovers, for all humanity, as well as for all creation, because Baba has love for each one. What he has undergone for creation, we can't see or fathom. As mentioned, during the first few years after Baba dropped his body, whenever anyone spoke with Mehera of Baba, she began to cry, remembering certain incidents, such as Baba's 2 accidents, and the suffering he endured was sure to trigger Mehera's tears. Therefore, visitors were encouraged to talk to Mehera about other subjects. If this were unsuccessful, Mehera called Mani from inside, and Mani tried to divert Mehera's mind to a different track. Don't you want to hear a song? She would suggest, and someone would sing. Mani was adept at saying things that helped Mehera deal with her grief. Hilmai once asked Mani, but how do you come up with such things? How do you do it? Moni had to stop and think. She did not know either, and she concluded that it was Baba's doing. For example, one time Moni told Mehera, remember how we used to read the Tolkien books to Baba? Remember when Bilbo put on the ring? They became invisible, but the shadow can be seen. It's the same, Mehera. Baba is still here. You feel his presence, although we cannot see him. It's just like when Bilbo put on the ring. Baba has put on the ring, and that's why we cannot see him, but he is very much here. Moni commented, yes, in the shadow. Baba is very much here. I felt it right from the beginning, after he dropped his body, but it didn't ease the agony or the age, not for a long time. In her family letter, excuse me, in her family letter of 26 August 1969, Moni wrote, as the time drew nearer, beloved Baba warned his lovers more often. Hold on to my daman. Do not let it slip away under any circumstance. Now, when the daman appears invisible, is the time to hold on as never before. You want me to read the side note?
Yes, please.
So the side note says, on 26 February 1979, Moni wrote to Carrie Ben Shammai, side by side with the immense growing of Baba's love, excuse me, from heart to heart and land to land, we see everywhere. Drink a little water. Sorry. We see everywhere the developing of situations which is testing his lover's love. And daily we learn that the only precious thing worth living, worth holding to is his beloved daman. May his love, which is the strength that sustains his lovers, help all to hold on firmly. So the side note is finished. Now we go back to the text. In her another sign beside Baba's image on the tree, which helped to make this invisible shadow visible for Mehera, was when she found his image elsewhere in his bedroom. Over the years, Mehera had collected a large amount of Baba's hair.
And
Since,
there's
yeah.
another side note for the hair somewhere. There it is.
So, another side note for the regarding the hair. Some hair had been given to Mehera by Khorshid, who also combed and collected Baba's hair in the early days whenever Baba told Mehera to sit before him. Yeah. Since Baba did not use oil on his hair, Mehera felt that his hair should be preserved properly. One day she mentioned it to Baba, who asked Kenmore to find out the best method to preserve his hair. Harry investigated in New York, where Larry Crishaw, where Larry Crush, where Larry Karash suggested that the hair be placed in an airtight acrylic plaque, which would be visible to all. With Baba's permission, the hair was given to Kenmore at Guru Prasad. At the end of July 1969, Harry returned for a month's stay at Mehera. Soon after he returned, soon after he returned to America, he sent the acrylic plaque, and Mehera placed it in Baba's bedroom. Each morning, as she had always done, Mehera dusted Baba's photographs, brushed his chair, and made his bed. One day in 1971, 2 years after the plaque had arrived, while doing his room, Mehera kept staring at it. I said Baba must give me darshan in his hair. She remembered. She stood in front of the plaque, trying to find his face. All of a sudden, her hair caught sight of it. It was a very clear image, and Mehera was deeply gratified. Oh, darling Baba, she exclaimed, how beautiful. I loved seeing his face in the hair. I looked at it with so much love in my heart for Baba. Mehru was in the next room. I called and showed it to her and then to the others. As time passed, although Mehera began speaking directly with visitors, she still felt shy. The women reminded her that Baba had made her say Jai Baba to the men Mandali on 31st January 1968, signifying that he wanted her to come out. Don't be nervous, Baba told her. I am by your side. Mani explained. That assurance that Baba was by her side, that he still is beside her, helped Mehera. Even now, Mehera lacks talking to one or two when so are present. She isn't used to a big group.
Thank you, Mahu. We'll stop recording here to pick up next week.